Hey, what is up, everyone? Let me just get my mic in the right spot here. Welcome back, everyone. If you're returning to the stream, and if you're new to the stream, welcome. Essentially, what we do is about one or two Fridays every month, we're going to be doing these listening live streams where I will give you my sincere, real, unfiltered feedback and constructive criticism on your mixes, your productions, and in some cases even I can offer some critique on your composition and arrangement as well. Just a quick recap to everyone who is new. If you want to submit a track for review, you can. Where's my chat? I need to find the chat so I can paste this in. And I have no chat. Hang on one second here. I'm trying to figure out how I can view the chat. Okay, what's going on here? Apologies. Normally the chat shows up and I can paste in the link. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey, there it is. Okay. Woo, sorry about that. I was getting worried there. I couldn't find the damn chat. So yeah, just to recap here, if you're new to this, we do this, once or twice per month, usually on Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to submit a track for review, typically what I do is the Wednesday before I do one of these streams, I will post a link where you can upload your track. All you have to do is you have to sign up for a free Boombox account at boombox.io. You do not have to pay for any of the pro or premium accounts to do this. In fact, now that they're not a sponsor anymore, you actually don't even have to sign up for Boombox, but I recommend doing it just so I can see what your name is. Otherwise, everything's just anonymous and it's just going to say, undefined user or whatever. So if you want to submit your track, you can do so here with this link. I'll go ahead and paste that in the chat and I will pin that up to the top. Now, just remember, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to paste that up to the top. Let's paste this other one up to the top. There we go. Okay. Just keep in mind that everyone here is at a different skill level. Everyone has a different, different experiences and different genres. So the goal here of providing feedback is not to insult you or to, be hard on you. If something sounds harsh, if my criticism sounds harsh, it's just because I'm trying to give you legit, real feedback. So it's never meant to insult, and just keep in mind, some projects we're going to listen to are almost complete works. Others are works in progress. So let's jump right into it today. And we're going to go right here. Okay. So I always do these in the order that I receive them. Let's reload the page real quick. So the order I received them, we've got Feel the Bass by Psycho first here. We've got, how many do we have? 16. So pretty full roster today. So let's check out Feel the Bass V6 from Psycho.
Feel the bass. Let it move your feet. In a dark room where the beats are deep. Dance till dawn, we're gonna get so high. In the house of dreams, we own the night. Feel the bass, 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 feel the bass.
Feel the bass, let it move your feet. In a dark room where the beats are deep.
Feel the bass, let it move your feet. In a dark room where the beats are deep. Dance till dawn, we're gonna get so high. In the house of dreams, we own the night. Feel the bass, let it move your feet. In the dark room where the beats are deep. Feel the bass, let it move your feet. In the dark room where the beats are deep. Dance till dawn, we're gonna get so high. In the house of dreams, we own the night.
Cool. Couple of just like mostly like little mix things and impact kinds of things. Right here, like this for this first drop, I feel like you could remix that to have it have even more impact. Like sometimes cutting things before a drop hits can really give you like more impact. That even if you're not doing anything more with the point of impact, sometimes by pulling things back right before the drop can make things, it can give it more of an impact. On the bass, I feel like maybe there could be like a filter sweep, like it's got that kind of like Inception drone bass kind of vibe to it, and I really like that. But I almost wonder if you, instead of just hitting that note, if you like filtered it real quick and then put the reverb after the filter, if that would create like more movement for it and just make it a little more interesting. Just, something to think about. There's like a mid-range synth too that's in these sections that's a little high for my liking. It's a little shrieky in the mid-range in my ear. As I've told you guys before, I mix on Aventone CLA 10, so they're already like very mid-rangey. So when I hear things that are too mid-rangey or too saturated in that mid-range, I think maybe they really need to come back a little bit. I get the vocals. I'm almost wondering if it might help to remove the breaths in the vocal parts. I understand you're trying to keep this kind of raw, aggressive kind of tone to them. So, you don't want to over process them. I mean, they're heavily processed, but in terms of like cleanup, you don't want to go through and clean everything up and denoise them or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like maybe either reducing the breaths in them or removing the breaths in them might help. And then, that's pretty much it. I mean, cool track. I don't know. I feel like it needs a melody. I feel like it needs a melody somewhere. I feel like it needs like I don't know. Honestly, it's only 3.5 minutes, so I'd consider maybe expanding it out and even adding some more melodic elements, even if it's something simple like an arpeggio or arpeggiator or something like that, just to give it some more motion and to break up the monotony a bit. Not saying it's monotonous, but just give it a little bit more variation. So cool track. Let's jump down to Hada Galbee. This is my heart from Esuntech. Hello, this is my finished work with vocals of the instrumental that was in the last stream. It's in Moroccan dialect, hence the title, by a Moroccan singer, not mentioning his name to respect your stream. Your feedback's always appreciated. Awesome. Let's check this out.
كشمالي صاي كياني رماني زماني بواد الأماني وبالنار في عيني رماني وقد ما كاني بلاني زماني كشمالي صاي كياني رماني زماني بواد الأماني وبالنار في عيني رماني القمر نجوم سهرانة تحكي على غرامي واشكاني وش باغى مني ثاني هذا قلبي وانا مولاه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه وانا وحدي اللي نعرف دواه وانا وحدي اللي نعرف دواه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه وانا وحدي اللي نعرف دواه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه وانا وحدي اللي نعرف دواه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه هذا قلبي وانا مولاه
Cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, I like the vocal. I have no clue what he's saying, but I like the vocal. The Suntex saying here, asking if you don't mind, in the raw vocals I received, I found some pitch modulation weirdness. Could it be something with the mic or just effects? It could be. I mean, did they tune the track before they sent them to you? Like that could be it. It definitely sounds like it's been tuned. I don't know if you did some tuning to it as well. most of my critiques here are more, mix centric as well on this one. I'd say in general, maybe a little bit more top end on the vocal, like the 8 to 10K range and higher, just to give it a little bit more presence. It sounds like it's very mid-rangey. The vocal stands out in the mix, don't get me wrong. It's just like I want a little bit more clarity in that top end. I really love that middle transition and like the filtered vocal slowly coming back in. And then I would let's see. The main thing I heard straight from the beginning is that the kick and the bass seem like they're almost like not up an octave, but their emphasis is almost up an octave from where it should be. Like they almost sound kind of mid-range, more mid-low energy. I want to hear more of that fundamental sub, especially like in the kick drum. And I might have told you this last time. I can't remember, but I almost feel like a different kick. Like I don't know what it is about that kick sample. I don't know if I like it. It's a little too clicky. And I don't know that this genre of music it takes really well for this genre of music. I almost feel like a deeper, subbier, lower, almost like a disco dance kick. You know what I mean? What you've got is almost like an EDM, type kick, or dubstep type, like really hard kick. So I don't know. Maybe there's something you can do with that kick as well that will fix that bass issue as well. Otherwise, the mix is pretty good. I think the mix sounds pretty good. The vocal, I can definitely hear some like artifacts, from the pitch correction and everything. But yeah, I'm not sure if that pitch modulation weirdness was maybe some tuning that the singer did before they sent you the track. But yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Okay, let's go to Inspire from Sammy Hind. Let's give this a listen. So, don't get me wrong. I like the sort of ambience to it. I like the I like soundscapes and things like that. But right here, you can hear that grainy, distorted sort of sound bed, music bed. I don't know, effects bed. And you can hear it just cut out. I would extend that, or maybe loop it or overlap it, and then slowly fade it out so that it doesn't sound like we're going from this effects bed to nothing. So you can hear the effects. I'm going to call it a quote effects bed cut out abruptly. I would fade it out gradually. So let's listen again. Listen, there's like a little distorted, like oversaturated, like effects bed in there intentionally.
Inspire your eyes, inspire my life, inspire all the signs that drive us down. Inspire my heart, inspire it all. Ever since I was a boy in school, been broken down. Spies with tongue, I if I could. The skies have come and I've gone for life. Guess I should. It's just always over and never comes back to bed. I'm always under benchmark you set that day. In the darkness, you seem heartless with my future. And I don't know, I just don't see where it leads. I could always leave, I could always. But in the darkness, it seems pointless. All the noises come, everyone cheering on. I realize why. For a long time I got caught in the back of your mind. I got trapped in the hole in the dark, or so they said to me. You hated being there, just always over and never comes back. And be there. Just before all that, it never came out, never came right. Oh, just always under and never around, and never cry. Just always under benchmark, she said, and never come back.
Okay, cool. I mean, look, I like the sort of vibe of it all. Let's go back to the intro. So I had said that there was that like effects bed that kind of cuts out and then comes back in. You may want to consider taking that intro and cutting it in half. I think that's one unfortunately one of the realities of, being songwriters and producers is that we have to think about, how many people are going to abandon the song because it's too long, or are going to abandon a song because the intro is too long, or it takes too long to get to a vocal. I mean, people use this like 7-second rule, That's like you got to get to the point within 7 seconds. I don't really believe in that. I think you can, you can do some things with longer intros, but I would, in this case, I would consider possibly like cutting the length of the intro in half, and then keep that effects bed under, everything for the entirety of that intro. When you get to like this first verse section, it's like really emotional. It's very intimate and raw, and I really like it. I really do. I really like it. I like that it's a little out of tune. I like that it's a little bit sad. I like that it's a little bit rough around the edges. Well, hell, it's a lot rough around the edges, and I like that. I really like that in that part. I would maybe think about filtering out some of the low end, because there's definitely some like plosives in there, like you're just too close to your microphone. But when we get to this spot, this whole section here, and keep in mind that's like almost 2 minutes in, so we're like, we're already like more than a third of the way into the song. If you were to cut this out, then this intro would all just be like the first third, and I think people are going to be more willing to keep going with the song if your intro is a little shorter. But anyway, when we get to this point, I would say, again, if I were your producer, I would say use this as like a rough sketch or a demo, and then go back, practice the song, go back and re-record that part. And especially like the bigger parts where you've got this like chorus double effect, I would record it in 2 octaves, and I would double up your voice like multiple times. I say this a lot, but like, you know, if you layer your voice up an octave, or you layer your voice with falsetto, or you try to change the character of your voice while you sing, you can go from something that has more body like this to something that's more breathy like this. And you make the lead vocal, like the main, you know, vocal that has the most body, the center vocal, you layer it up with some you know, unison doubles that have that more whispery kind of soft sound to them. And then you also layer it up an octave with some falsetto. I think it can create a really nice effect, a really nice sort of group vocal effect. And if you don't want it to sound like just straight up like a group vocal, you can line them up really well, and it almost sounds like one voice, just with all of this and all these enhancements to it. So the main thing I would think about is the vocal in this section right here. The other thing I would do, and yeah, the vocals are a little pitchy. I don't mind it for the track, but I definitely, in this section right here, the pitch needs to be a little more on point. So I would just keep practicing it, and then when you get to a point where you're comfortable with it, re-record the vocals there. Instrumentally, from like a mix-wise, I think things, again, in this section need to be kind of beefed up a little bit, maybe a little more saturation, a little more body. Right now, the instrumentation sounds a little bare bones, and I don't mean you need to add more instruments. I mean that you need to accent what you already have, so it creates more of a fuller vibe. So that would be my criticism here. So good work, keep going at it, and like I said, I would really think about re-recording the vocals throughout this section, and you know, staying more on pitch. Use doubling. You know, doubling is your friend. And then, you know, beef up the instrumental a bit as well. Okay, let's go to, we were on Inspire. Let's go to Tweak Me by Tashad Noor. Brand new track, work in progress. I'm thinking of a shorter intro, but feedback on anything is very welcome. Thanks. All right, Tweak Me. Let's give it a shot.
Breaking through to meet the maker, discovering something new. This is a venture, tearing the sea of pleasure. The dreams could stay, if I could say. There is a place where everybody should go. Come on, shape yourself, go down. Change yourself, come on. Shape yourself, come down. Change yourself. yourself, come down. Change yourself, come on. Shape yourself, come down. Change yourself. There is a place where everybody will go. There is a change that everybody will know. Come on, everybody. Come on, come on. Everybody, come on, come down. Everybody, come on, come on. Everybody, come on, come down. Come on, come down. Come on, come down. Come on, come down. Come on, come down.
Don't you feel like that? Come out, come down. Like, don't you think that should go one more time with the claps?
Down.
Cha, cha. You know what I mean? Or you could end. Yeah, I almost feel like that could be repeated one more time. That's just my opinion. So I'll just say maybe repeat this last solo or just last vocal line with claps one more time. Main criticism here would be the vocal, I think, needs a little bit more producing and a little bit more playing around with. Especially like in the intro, like I want to hear like more of like the top end again, that like 8 to 10. It's like there's a range in the top end for vocal. It's like everything above 8 or 10K, where if you boost that range, you don't hear much of a change to this, even the sibilance of the voice, but it almost adds like an air and a clarity, and it's almost like the front end of words and the consonants come out a little bit better. So I would think about doing something like that. I would also think about maybe layering up the vocals if you have the ability to. If not, you can do it with effects. One thing I do to thicken vocals is I will often like I'll put a slap back delay on the vocal. So I'll do like a send. I go over to an aux track. On the aux track, I put like a super fast slap delay, just the slap delay. And then what I'll do, there's it's one of the only Waves plugins I use. It's called the King's microphones. It's like a bunch of like old timey microphones that the royal family has used over the years, that they're modeled after that. And it gives you sort of that like slightly distorted, like old timey mic effect. And so like you're hearing the lead vocal clear as day, but then you're hearing a slight slap back right after it that's got that old timey mic effect on it. And that really helps to thicken the vocals. But yeah, I would think about trying to layer up and double, maybe find some more doubling or modulation effects that can thicken up the vocal a little bit. Musical arrangement's great. I mean, you really got me with this little transition right here. That is not what I was expecting at all. But yeah, it comes in and it's a nice dance beat. I can tell it's not mastered yet, but yeah, the beat is great and the instrumental is great as well. Just needs some little bit of work on the vocals to kind of bring those out and thicken them up a little bit. So cool. Always great stuff to Shad. Let's move to KME's Breaching the Dark 2023 12/14 rough mix. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, cool stuff. I mean, look, I'm always a sucker for 80s sounds. Um, I love like the Stranger Things, like 80s vibes throughout. One thing that really hits me in this section and this section right here, it's like this. It's like your melody is like an arpeggiator type of thing. I feel like at some point in here, and maybe even over here, where this main idea is, in order to break up the monotony, I almost wonder if you want to insert another section that's kind of a contrasting section. So instead of like you have an A section, you've got sort of like a B section for the middle section, a C section here, and then we're back to A. It's like A, B, C, A. I almost wonder if you split these two sections in half and inserted a section that's got a little bit more rhythm to it. Like I'll try to like sing what I'm hearing in my head. It's always hard to for me to sing something, but let me just play a little bit of it, and then when I hear it, I'll kind of sing it. And then like right there, boom, ba-ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-ba-dum, like something that's a little groovier to break up that 4/4 monotony. You know what I mean? I like everything you've got going on here, but I think you've got enough room to add to it. I mean, it's only 253, so I think you've got some room to add like something a little bit more rhythmic in these sections. And even if you don't do it at the end, awesome. You don't have to do it at the end, but something in here. Like I feel like you've got room for another section here. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, I love the triple arpeggiators over here. That's bold. But hey, it works. I think it really works. So cool stuff. I don't know. Again, main thing, just think about maybe another section in here, something more rhythmic that kind of breaks it up. You could even change the instrumentation, a bit. Let's go to, okay, we have 2 from Terra House. Let's see here. We have He Thinks He Loves Me and No Fight. I'm going to only do one because I don't think we're going to have time for multiple tracks today. So we'll do this one. So Terra House music. Hi, Josh. I'm Ahmed. I just wanted to say how much I enjoy making digital music on my Mac. I work exclusively with virtual instruments using Logic Pro, learning on Logic stock sounds and Easy Drummer 3. For vocals, I usually edit Logic stock loops to fit my song. Your tutorials have been incredibly helpful. I've learned a lot through both your guidance and some trial and error. I really appreciate your feedback, how I can improve my music. Thanks for the opportunity. Awesome. Let's give it a shot. Let me just check the chat. Oh, thank you, Ron. I really appreciate it. Or no, not Ron. It's LE5 Tat. Thank you. I appreciate the donation there. My super. What's it called? It's a super. Thank you for the super. And then someone had a question here. Where was the question? Someone said, "What's your favorite?" Obed McCallop says, "What's your favorite type of music to critique?" I don't really have a favorite type of music to critique. I would say that the type of music I'm the most comfortable critiquing is like very synthy, heavy, like synth heavy music with lots of. Thank you, Coach. Super Chat. That's the official name. I know. You could tell I'm not a regular streamer because I don't know what the name of a donation is. A super chat. Thank you so much. The genre I'm the most comfortable with is probably rock and metal, and that's just because I grew up playing that. Although I do a lot of like electronic stuff now and pop stuff. So it's probably synthy stuff and pop stuff and rock stuff. So Lestat the vampire. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Sorry, RON. I thought it was like, oh, thanks, Ron, for the $50. RON. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, let's give this a listen. Terra House music. Ahmed. He Thinks He Loves Me. Let's give it a shot. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I like the groove of it. I like the track. I like the instrumental for sure. I think I can definitely hear some like session players in there, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of them seem maybe a little too busy, especially if you were to put like vocals over the whole thing. You may find that some of those session players, you may need to dial them back or thin out the MIDI arrangements a little bit so everything isn't like going at 100% all the time. So I really like the track itself. I would love to hear this with some real studio vocals. And, maybe you can use your edited loops to kind of, maybe you can use the loops to kind of, use them as a way to sort of generate your own melodies and see if you can't find a singer to collab with and sing a part on it. I realize not everyone has, a ton of money, but like a really easy way to get vocals on a track is to like find like a singer on Fiverr or something to collaborate with, and they'll often just do it as a work for hire, and they won't charge much either. I mean, when in the times where I've needed like a really good sounding demo vocal because I was handing it over to another artist to record, I've gone to Fiverr and like paid like $60-$70 for a studio quality vocal, and maybe it's not the final vocal that goes on the track, but it's at least something that excuse me, is at least something that's that's good enough to follow a melody and use later. Or like you can get studio quality vocals on Fiverr. It just depends on how much you're willing to pay. But yeah, I'd love to see that those vocal loops kind of maybe be use them as inspiration to come up with your own melody, even if some of the words and melodies are the same. If you sort of weave that into your own a melody and lyrics, I think that would really work out well. There are a couple spots I hear mostly in the intro here where like the bass and guitar are not quite working together. It's almost like the guitar is like one note away from where it needs to be, but it's a pretty minor thing. I would just maybe go through and double check those things. And the guitar also sounds like MIDI guitar. So again, if you're going to release this, I would highly recommend finding a real guitar player to play it. So cool stuff. All right, let's go to Maloney. Christopher Maloney. I Can't Hold On. Rough one. So I'm assuming that's a rough mix. Let me go back to the chat here and see if I can answer any questions. Let's see. And yeah, digging the bass. Yeah, I think that was the session player. Yeah, all MIDI mod. Okay, awesome. Cool. Your skills got me through my first feature film score contract. Many thanks, Wesley Curry. Awesome, man. That's awesome to hear. Okay, let's do this. Maloney, I Can't Hold On.
There we were, so damn sure we had it all right. Yeah, there's really no denying what we felt inside.
Yeah, cool stuff. I love that scratchy guitar riff. Um, the one thing I would do with the guitar is I would fatten that up a bit. I'm not saying change your guitar tone, keep the same scratchy kind of low like crunch drive kind of sound. I actually like it, and also those types of riffs leave a lot of space for other things to come through. You know, the tendency is always to crank the gain on the amp. I would just try to fatten it up a little bit. Maybe try like Chroma Glow or some other saturation plugin just to give it a little bit more body. The solo is great. I'd pull it up in the mix like 2-3 dB. It throughout the whole thing though, I would say maybe try, especially like in the choruses and the doubled spots, I'd try maybe thickening up the vocal a little bit if you can. Like I said earlier, one way I do it is I'll add a little bit of like a slap delay to the vocal, and then I'll add like a filter or distortion effect on the slap vocal. Especially though, in that chorus hook. I can't hold on. I can't hold on. It's such a great hook. It really is. And it's really catchy. I mean, by the end of the song, I was singing it. God, you got to layer that up with some more voices. I would add like 4 more layered voices, maybe a couple of them down an octave, and then maybe even re-record the main hook straight up the center with lots of body, lots of intensity, lots of energy. Because there isn't like a clear distinction between the like the verse vocal and the chorus hook. Like when we hit that hook, I want it to expand out and be big and full and like have layers to it and have almost like a different sound to it, just to make sure that you're hitting that, you know, that point home. So that would be my critique there. Sounds like you're using Drummer and Logic. Again, no problem with that. I would maybe convert to MIDI if you haven't already, and maybe play around with some of the fills just to make things, you know, kind of line up rhythmically with the guitar licks. But otherwise, cool stuff. It looks like it still needs to be fully mixed and mastered, but you've got a good song, you've got a good melody, you've got a good hook. So cool. Let me just try to tackle some of these. Aton says, can you tell me where I am on the queue? Aton, you are... Where are you? This is the order I'm doing them in. So you are... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. We'll get to you today, though, for sure. Sorry, I'm like coughing up a storm. My allergies are horrible. There's pollen everywhere right now. Cool. Let's jump to Weasel Words from Crinkle Cut. Crinkle Cut says, hey, Josh, I would still consider this a demo. Production and mix needs completion. Would love your input on composition and production at this stage. What would you do with this track? Thanks again. Cool. Let's give it a listen.
You showed up late for a date, said your car
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I really like the melodies. I really like the I mean, her voice is one of those voices that's really hard to mix, not because it's like her voice cuts through the song like a hot knife through butter. I think the issue with her voice is it's so bright and so in that like a higher register that it's almost like you have to tame it and control it a little bit. So I have one like main criticism that I would seriously consider doing. And the rest are kind of like, optional minor things. One is like in the intro here, maybe try filtering her vocal a little bit, like taking out some of the bottom and top end. And then when that first line of the chorus of the hook kicks in, take out the filter. That might create a little more impact. And then leave the filter off for the rest of the song. I'd say just in general, a little bit of less vocal tuning on her voice. Like it doesn't sound like she's a bad singer or anything, but like especially like high, almost like soprano, vocals like in that range, they really start to sound robotic really quick when you add too much like vocal tuning and pitch correction. So maybe dial that back a little bit. I'm really getting and here's my main criticism, I guess. The song's giving me like, I don't know, somewhere between like 80s like I don't know, mystery drama vibes, but then like 80s pop rock vibes all at the same time. I like the instrumentation. I would just say maybe think about swapping out the drum kit, because the drum kit, at least the way I'm hearing it, especially the kick drum, is kind of sounding a little bit like a drum machine. And, that can work, but you really have to go with it. You know what I mean? If you're going to do drum machine, you got to really make it sound like a drum machine. If you're going to go for like real drum, to mimic real drums, I would go with like that like 80s super tight, super dry drum kit sound. Like you could even keep the beat exactly the same, but maybe swap out some of the sounds and samples for different things. I'm almost thinking like what's the best way I can describe it? Like almost like a Dire Straits kind of drum kit, but even drier than that, So I don't know. Think about that. The main thing that's bothering me is the drum kit, especially the kick drum is bothering me because I feel like it's like an electronic kick, and the way it's mixed, the drum kit sounds like an electronic kit, but I can tell you're not trying to make it sound electronic. You're trying to go for a natural kit sound. So yeah, maybe try swapping out that drum kit. And you may get a better result. Let's see, where are we at? So we are here at Weasel Words. That means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to get through. And then we've done how many before so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay, so let's listen to Sorry, and then we're going to take a little break. Just got to swap out the camera battery. So this is Sorry by Extreme Powers. I'm a guitarist, but I'm not playing guitar at all here, just keyboards. Vocals are Logic's vocal loops arranged to a new original song. Please comment on the mix. First time mixing a pop song. Please do comment on the arrangement as well. I did put an extra effort on the bass lines. It'll probably suck, but at least I tried. Hey, look, we all got to start somewhere, so let's give this a shot.
Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry that you'll never be the one.
Try all you want, but I'm no fight. Try all you want, but I'm no fight. No matter all the times you ignore this. No matter all the times you ignore this. You gotta sing a little song. You gotta sing a little song.
Time, it ain't always on your side. It can always let you down, and just keeps on going round. I've been on the road to you, and there's nothing I
can do.
We'll never sink, we're just riding the wave. We'll never sink, we're just riding the wave.
I've been on my own for a long time, thinking about the way that you don't mind.
I keep feeling that it's all mine.
Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one.
You gotta say this all. No matter all the time you ignore this.
Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one.
You gotta say this all. No matter all the time you ignore this.
Time, it ain't always on your
Try
side.
all you want, but I know
It can always let you down, and just keeps on going round.
you got me feeling like it's all mine.
I've been on the road to you, and there's nothing I can do. Won't be better till it all slows down. Make it easier to turn back now. I've been on my own for a long time, thinking about the way that you don't mind.
I keep feeling that it's all mine.
Oh, you got me on a different high. When you're with me, I can touch the sky. I love your feeling, I can empathize. Recharge each other, we can energize.
Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one. Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one. Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one. Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one. Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one. Bodies to bodies, the only thing that I want. I'm sorry, you'll never be the one.
Yeah, really cool track. I mean, look, God, if you if those are all vocal loops that you've manipulated and changed to fit the musical arrangement, I'm like extremely impressed. I in my experience, I can almost never get vocal loops to work. You know what I mean? Like I might use a vocal loop as like a placeholder for my own idea or something, you know. I use it as a starting point to sort of inspire my own idea. Really like the arrangement. Yeah, like I love the musical arrangement. I like the instrumentation. I like the melodies. I would say maybe like two main things. In terms of the mix, I would say I've talked about the equal loudness principle and equal loudness curves on the channel before, but the louder something is, like if you master it or you put a limiter on it and crank the gain, the louder a track is, the more you, like if you think of like a flat line as like your frequency range, as you increase the volume, you need to increase the bass and treble more, and therefore the mid-range kind of stays a little closer to where it is. You need to boost the bass and treble more. What you have here is like kind of the opposite, where you've got this almost like not a bell curve, but a bell curve bump in the mid-range. And I don't think you're doing it intentionally. I think what you need to do is just boost the bass and boost the treble, or cut the mids a little bit. It sounds like you've got a little bit too much 1 to 5K energy in there. And I'm not necessarily saying you need to reduce 1 to 5K, but you could boost the bass and boost the treble, or find a way to do that just, with the individual instruments in the mix, to give you that, to achieve that sort of equal loudness curve. So the mix to me sounds a little too mid-rangey to my ear. In terms of the vocal, while I am extremely impressed that you were able to do that with the vocal loops, if I were you, I would definitely find a couple of singers to collaborate with and to put a studio vocal on the track if you're going to release it. And it's not that you don't have the right to use those vocal loops. You absolutely do. If they're Logic loops, by purchasing Logic, you're essentially, buying the right to use that loop in your own composition. Where it gets sketchy is that anyone can grab that same loop and throw it in their song. And, it's one thing if it's a shaker loop or a synth loop or a drum loop or something, and it's incorporated into the track in a way that no one's going to even notice that it's a loop. It's another thing if it's just, a melody that someone else composed and it's a loop in loop form. So what I would do is use those vocals as a reference to maybe change up the lyrics a little bit, maybe change up the melody a little bit. And if you work with collaborators, a singer is going to be able to do that like fairly easy. So I would think about that too. It's not that you're going to have a copyright problem. You're not going to have a copyright problem, but you may have an IP problem. Like, for example, I know someone who their music gets copyright flagged. Not copyright flagged. Actually, no, it gets copyright flagged all the time because someone else used a very distinct loop in a very exposed way in their track. And so what I wouldn't want to happen to you is that someone else uses that same loop in their track, and then you try to, put it online, and then they're taking all of your, or half of your royalties or whatever, because, YouTube or whatever service is identifying your track as using a loop that someone else used. So it's a really convoluted thing, and like that could be a whole video on its own. But I would think about that. Use the loops as a way to kind of build your own melody and lyrics. And you can even use the, most of the main, the main melody of the vocal and the lyrics of the vocal, just change it up a little bit, make it your own thing so you don't run into that problem, in the future. So, Ahmad says, in my song "No Fight," I use the same vocal loop. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. If anyone can use the loop, it can create a problem for IP, and your track can get flagged. I had this issue years ago when Logic 10.5 came out. I think it was whenever Live Loops came out. I was using the Live Loops grids as my background music, and the entire video kept getting flagged for copyright because some word redacted was taking the Live Loops grids and just releasing them as their own music. So when anyone tried to use a Live Loops grid in their YouTube video, it was getting flagged for copyright. Fortunately enough, it ended up not being a problem, but like just thinking about it that much, or in that way. So, okay, give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm just going to do a quick battery change out for my camera, and take a little break, make sure the dogs are doing okay, maybe let the dogs out, and I'll be right back. So 2 minutes, I'll be right back. Let's take a short break. Okay, I am back. Yes, North End Entertainment. It is a potty break / potty break for the dogs as well. Let me just kind of catch up on some of the chat here. Yeah, the Bengals definitely, Wesley is definitely a better comparison than Dire Straits. But that's kind of what my mind kind of goes to, like money for nothing kind of thing. Let's see what else. I wonder, has anyone in Music Tech Help Guys listening shows got an A+ all good? There's been a couple of them where I'm like, I mean, other than like one minor tweak, I think you've got a song that's ready to go. But at the end of the day, it's all, I think it was one of Tashad Noor's tracks one time. There were a couple other ones too from other folks, but just keep in mind, it's like what I say is just my opinion. It's all subjective. Mixing is extremely subjective. There are elements to production that are not subjective, but it's so subjective. Like one person's like great mix could be someone else's, bad mix. I've told you guys the stories about how sometimes I get clients who they come back and they're like, hey, I really like the mix, but could you get rid of all the saturation? I really just want a really clean mix. And to me, that's a clean mix, like a super clean mix. Unless it's like orchestral music is a bad mix to me. Because to me, the saturation is what kind of, and the way you shape the tones is what gives the music a vibe and like a mojo to it. Which is why like almost every single mix and master I do has my Rupert Neve Portico on it, because it's got a really, really musical saturation unit in it. And I just love what it does. I mean, it just takes everything. It takes a good mix and it makes it better. So yeah, there have been a few that I'm like, hey, this is pretty much one mix revision. Again, in my opinion, one mix revision away from being ready. Let's see what else. So now we know who let the dogs out. Yeah. Having 2 dogs, I don't have any kids, but man, these dogs, when I work from home, they need my constant attention all the time. Old Gretcher says, have you listened to any of the Blue Grape Records artists? I think you'd like some of it. No, I haven't seen any of that or heard any of that. Let's see. Eitan says, I'm out now. Yep, take care. I'll see you next time. We'll get to yours in a bit. You can catch it on the recording. Yeah, our tracks of Dan Burke have been really favorably reviewed by this stream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember those. Cool. Okay, let's jump back into it. We were on Sorry by Extreme Powers. And now we are going to go to Adel, Donera by Isaac Synth. Hi, Josh. Hope you're doing well. This is my latest track from my new artist named Adel. It's a chill wave type of beat. Any comment will be very appreciated. Awesome. Let's give it a listen. Okay. Couple things. I mean, I really like the vibe of it. It's like a chill wave kind of thing. I love your toms for the kick and snare, especially. What I would do is I would try to find a way to dial back the transient on the kick and snare a little bit, because I think the kick and snare are a little too hard hitting for the track. It's almost like the sample is okay. Almost like you just need to dial, like, I don't know, like dial up the attack time or something on those two samples if it's possible. Just a touch, just so it's not like a, like a super hard transient. Something that's a little more round sounding. I love the side chained synthesizers where like you've got this arpeggiated thing going on, and every time the kick hits, they kind of go down because it gives it some motion, right? Because it could just be right, but instead when you have the kick hit, it sidechain ducks the synths, and so you end up with this. So I love that kind of thing. I'd pull up your synth melodies a little bit as well. And just because your melodic ideas seem like they're kind of getting buried a little bit. And I love like the cloudy sort of synth textures in here. I just want that kick. The main thing I think is the kick and snare. I want the texture of the kick and snare to kind of match the rest of the track a little bit better. So good work. Okay, one thing I totally forgot to do while I was on break was I totally forgot to change out my camera. Give me 1 second. I love using this DSLR for streams, but the battery only lasts like about an hour, and then I got to change it out. Cool. Let me just check on the comments here. Fletcher Munson effect, yeah. Wesley says, I've never made a completed tune where I have not wanted to go back and tweak it more. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of the game. I mean, literally every single mix and every single track I've written, I've wanted to go back and change it in some way. But like committing to something and like giving yourself a hard cutoff is like, it's a real problem. It's a struggle, because otherwise what I always find when I'm like working on my own music is I end up doing like, 7 final masters of the track because I can never quite get it exactly the way I want. And that's just because, we're, even in the digital world, we're working in a finite space, and there's only so much you can do, Okay, so let's go to, where were we? We're in Donera. Now we're in Minyu Yang, Gone But Not Forgotten. This is one of my original songs. It's inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog. It talks about Tikal, Maria, Cosmo, and the sacrifices they made to save lives, and uses the melody from Back to Soul, heard in the flying carpet stage from the video game Sonic the Fighters. I hope you like it. Awesome. Let's give it a listen.
Has anybody here seen my friend Tikal? Can you tell me where she's gone? Legend has it, she made a sacrifice to save her tribe. She sealed chaos in the master emerald along with her spirit. Gone but not forgotten. Has anybody here seen my friend Cosmo? Can you tell me where she's gone? She sacrificed herself to save the universe by fusing with the dark old planet, and the planet was destroyed. Sonic and Shadow in their super forms tried to revive her, but all they could produce was a small white seed, which they planted. And it sprouted.
Gone but not forgotten.
Has anybody here seen my friend Maria? Can you tell me where she's gone? Legend has it when G-U-N invaded the yard, she and Shadow made their escape. Shadow got inside the escape pod, but unfortunately Maria got shot. But in her dying breath, she told Shadow to fulfill her wish, to protect the people of the world. And Shadow was shot from the ark to the planet below. Has anybody here seen my friends Knuckles, Tails, and Shadow? Can you tell me where they go? Sonic told me that they were at the top of the hill, lying down on the grass, looking up into the skies, seeing visions of Tico, Cosmo, and Maria, with tears in their eyes. Gone but not forgotten. Gone but not forgotten. Gone but not forgotten. Gone but not forgotten. Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, so I think the song could end here. I don't think any of this is necessary. I think if you did the fade here, I think that could be the end of the track. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I would say this is probably too much repetition. I would maybe end it here and fade out. It's also 6 minutes and 39 seconds. So by cutting out that much, I mean, that's like cutting a whole minute from the song. And then you could do your fade here. My main criticism, like first and foremost, like someone said, like awesome 8-bit music. The thing is, like, it's not even 8-bit music, is it? Right? If it's Sonic, it's like Sega Genesis. You'll have to forgive me. The last time I played a Sonic game, it was on a Sega Genesis, I think. I think the main thing here is the vocals. I think the vocals need a lot of work. You've done a very good job of like recreating that like Sega Genesis, sound card kind of sound. But I do think like everything is a little too washy, like everything's a little too legato, everything's a little too like long release time. And sometimes that works, but it's like I almost feel like certain elements need to be a little more pointed, a little more rhythmic, a little more staccato. Like maybe even the bass, instead of boo doo 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 doo, you do like doo 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 doo, or you have these like synth pad chords, and they sound nice, but like maybe do something rhythmic with them just to change it up so you're not just doing all like long tones. Because right now the musical part, not including the vocals, the musical arrangement kind of sounds a little bit like a little too washy, like I want to hear some like rhythmic distinction and things in there. The main vocal hook, the Lost But Not Forgotten, or Gone But Not Forgotten, excuse me, I would add in some harmonies. I'd double up that vocal multiple times to kind of draw a distinction between it and whatever you've got going on in the verses. The dynamics in the vocals, there's some spots where like it's really loud and other spots where it's kind of hard to hear. So you definitely need some compression on the vocals. A compressor trick that's as old as time is one where you use two different stages of like two stages of soft compression rather than one stage of heavy compression. I usually will use two, like an LA2 style optical compressor followed by like a FET style quick attack kind of compressor, but you can do it the opposite way as well. The vocal too sounds a little bit muddy and a little bit mid-rangey, so it definitely needs some more top end to kind of bring out the clarity of what you're saying. So I think main thing is go back into your vocals and really dig deep into those vocals, and clean up that production a little bit. Kick and snare, I said, definitely need to come up in the drums as well. There's some synth melodies I also said to pull up as well. So, yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I'd say definitely needs some retooling in the vocals, though. Cool. Let's move on. Let's see. Let's go to... where were we? We were here. Let's go to Andrew Jackson's Watch Me Burn Demo 2. Andrew says, hey, thanks for your feedback on my last track. I've actually sent that one out to an engineer. This is a new song I'm working on, still in demo stage. Program drums, any production ideas welcome. Awesome. Let's give it a shot.
Lamb to the slaughter, ready to hit him behind the victim's back. I've been caught in, turn me around, stab me in the back, take it to your world, bring me down, back to your hell, watch me burn, take it to your world, bring me down, back to your hell. Deception, manipulated, blinded down this path, betrayed by desire, cut that broken left for dead outcast, take it to your world, bring me down, down to your hell, watch me. Take it to your world.
Cool. I mean, I like the guitar riffage. I'd say, and I say this all the time. I know. I would say dial back your gain. Dial back the gain on the guitars, and I think that'll help you out a lot because they both sound like they're on like full blast, like gains up to 10. When I hit the mono button on my monitor controller, the left and right rhythm guitars collapse down into almost nothing. So I'd find a way to fix that. Like I've said before, what I'll often do is track a third guitar straight up the middle, keep it really low in the mix, or you can try changing the EQ setting or even the amp for your left and right guitar to make them less similar. You said, I see you're saying that you're planning on getting a real drummer to play the final version, so that'll be better. Yeah, I would say like the drum programming sounds in certain spots works, in other spots doesn't quite work, doesn't quite sync up with the riffs as much as I'd like to hear it. But yeah, if you're gonna get a real drummer on there, they'll definitely be able to enhance that quite a bit. Honestly, I think I want a little bit more bass too. Like it's not even like the sub, like the sub energy in the bass is there, but I want to hear a little more mid-ranginess. If this is like a hard rock tune, like I want to hear a little more grittiness of the bass in there, a little more mid-range distortion or something. But when you have like a really high gain setting like that in the guitars, it's going to bury the bass. It's going to bury the mid-range in the bass. So, just like a compositional thing, like in these sections, it almost feels like the guitar riff can be doubled, not doubled, but like it can be played twice. And that might give your vocals a little bit of space to breathe. Because the phrasing in these sections just sound a little weird to me. Like there's almost so many words you got to fit in that they're kind of, you know what I mean? Like you're not giving yourself enough room to breathe. So I would think about that. I'd love to hear what this sounds like with real drums on it. So cool stuff. Let's go to Aton, New Pop Neo Soul version 6.532825 more edits. .mp3. Hey Josh, this is a neo soul track designed to eventually have lyrics and vocals. So if it seems a bit empty in places, please keep that in mind. In fact, to that end, I'm looking to collaborate with someone for that exact purpose. So if anyone in the chat wants to help out with singing and lyrics, please hit me up here on Boombox DMs. Thank you for all you do. I use Logic exclusively, and your videos have been invaluable. Awesome. Let's give this a shot. Yeah, cool stuff. I mean, I love that. I love the groove that da 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 dun dun cha da dun. Couple of things I would do differently, just like mix wise. I know you said that you're working trying to find a collaborator, so hit up Aton if you are interested in getting with him on that. I think overall the mix has a little bit too much mid-range energy. I think the drums are maybe a little too hot and out front. Maybe pull back the organ. I say a touch, maybe a lot. Maybe pull back the organ a lot. And there's some rim tap samples in the beginning here that I'm not a big fan of. But it's mostly mix changes. I think the track is good. I'd love to hear what it sounds like with a vocal on it. So good work. Okay, let's go to Dan Burke. North End Entertainment, What You Do to Me.
Once again, you got me here. The things you make me do for love, baby. I'm out here in the atmosphere, floating. With you, I feel so hyper. 'Cause you're beautiful, so special to me. I never wanna see you go. Your love's a doozy. 'Cause baby, when you laugh, my soul is satisfied. When you cry, it breaks my heart. Oh yes, when you touch me, I get electrified. When you leave, I pretty much fall apart. It's a reaction. What you do to me, it's pure attraction. Automatically, I don't know how to put it any other way. I try hard, but it's so hard to find another way to say I need you. 'Cause more than that, I want you. You really got a hold on me. My heart is beating fast, so fast, baby. Is this love or we shall see? Yeah, we'll see if we can make it last. But this ain't over. No, it's just getting started. I never wanna see you go. Don't leave me, baby. Don't leave me broken hearted. You should know that when you laugh, I melt away. It makes me want to pull you close, so close. Baby, kiss me. No need to wait. You got me twisted up like I've never been
Yeah, I think that's ready to go. I mean, I don't really have any mix tweaks. That the mix is great on it already. Great vocal, love the tight drum kit. Great vocal hook, great harmonies and doubling. The mix balance is good. I really don't have any mix critiques for it. I think you're ready to go. I'd say release that right now. Great work. Great work. Let's go to, let's see, it's 7:54. So I'm going to get to, we just did this one. We're going to get to Born a Libertines, Neon Highways, and we're going to get to Jesse B's Now You See Me, and then we're going to have to call it a day. So here's Neon Highways by Born Libertines. Yeah, so I'm going to stop it there. It's not that it's anything sounds bad. It's just it's too repetitive. You know, it sounds like I love all the synth textures and the sound design and stuff. But it kind of sounds like a 4-minute intro. You know, I think this could be pared down to like 1 minute, and then you could insert some additional sections to you know, like you got to hit a drop or something at some point. You know what I mean? You got to hit a different section and change it up. You know. So again, I would try to kind of cut this down to like 1 minute and then fill in, you know, build out the rest of the composition with some different sections that, you know, break up the monotony a little bit. Cool. All right. I'll try to do 2 more. We were on Neon Highways. Let's do Now You See Me by Jesse B, and we'll do Cosmic Haze by Lucian. And then unfortunately the rest we'll have to get to another day. So let's do Now You See Me by Jesse B. Used a vocal transformer for the low vocal parts, trying new things in my production. Awesome. Let's give it a listen. Yeah, I mean, I love the song. I love the riffs. I love the, I love the I like that you tracked real drums. I like the melodies. I love the intro here. It's just to me the mix needs a lot of work. The drums sound really, really muddy, like they're not popping through. Like there's spots here where I can tell there's like little fills going on, but I can barely hear them. It almost sounds like everything is like over compressed, and you've almost got the opposite of like the equal loudness thing I was talking about before, where you've got too much bass and treble and not enough mid range. You know what I mean? I'm not hearing the mid range, so like the whole mix sounds really scooped in the mid range to me, which I think is making your drums sound really muddy. I would also, if you're using amp sims, I'd pull back the amp gain a little bit, because when you double up your guitars, you don't quite need as much gain as you would need at like a live performance. But yeah, definitely needs some work in the mix. And another thing too is there's a lot of spots where the guitar, bass, and drums are not quite playing in time. Like it seems like the drummer is like rushing a little bit, and the guitar player is a little behind it. So I would tighten up all of those things to really make them sound on point. And then, open up that mid-range in the mix. So, okay, cool. Let's go to one more. We got one more, and we're going to go to Lucian's The War That Never Was, version 2. And then we'll wrap it for today. So same here. Vocals are not what I'd like them. I feel like a little dry for me. I can't get them where I want. Okay, let's give them a listen. Yeah, I'm not implying that you go to the grid. I'm saying, what I'm saying is what you can do is you can line up your guitar parts with the drums without going 100% to the grid. And that will still maintain the natural groove of the drums, although the drums do need to be enhanced. And then, you don't want to line everything to the grid. You want to line the instruments to each other, basically. All right, sorry. Let's go back here.
Solitude is just a drop in an ocean of despair. I got to know you better when you disappear somewhere.
Yeah, so you said your main problem was the vocals. I actually like your vocal. I like the tone of your vocals, and I like the effects. The main issue here for me is like when I listen to this in mono, it literally sounds like drums and a tiny, tiny little bit of guitar that's barely there, you know, and the vocals out front still. But in mono, your left and right rhythm guitars are like almost completely disappearing. All guitars need to come way up. I would say pull some of the sub out of the kick drum, bring the bass up to sort of fill that range, and then maybe leave the vocal where it's at. Like even maybe the drums as a whole could come down, because to me it sounds like a lot of drums, not a lot of rhythm guitar, almost like no bass. I can barely. The only bass I'm hearing is in the kick. You know, when I solo the sub, I'm hearing a hell of a lot of sub from the kick drum, but almost nothing from the bass. But the drums have the definition you want. The guitar riffs are like really kick ass. I really like the guitar riffage. So it's all mix issues. I think guitars need to come way up, find a way to make them not disappear in mono. And it's just like a balance issue, really. I think if you pulled your guitars up 6 to 8 dB and pulled the bass up 6 dB, and then compensated for clipping or the overall volume, I think you'd have a mix that was 10 times better just with those two changes alone. So you said you don't like the vocals. I actually really like the vocal. It's more the guitar that's the issue for me. So, all right, guys. Yeah, North End, you can try flipping the phase of one of the guitars, but that can also create a whole other range of issues. I'm more of a fan of keeping some variation in the guitars, like not lining them up perfectly, creating slightly different amp tones for your left and right guitars. Or like I said, I'm a big fan of like tracking a third rhythm guitar straight up the middle and put it so low in the mix that you don't even hear it. But then when you go to mono and those left and right channels collapse down, you end up hearing that center channel. So, all right, guys, cool. We'll wrap it there for tonight. The next stream will likely... The next stream will likely be mid-April. It's definitely not going to be next week because I'll be I got some other things I got to handle next week, and I'm really strapped for time right now. So probably we're looking at second or third week of April. But keep checking the community page, subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of that. And once again, thank you for all of the support, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the next one. I also have a mixing course coming out at some point here. It's probably going to take a few weeks to finish up, but it will be out in April at some time, and I'll start posting those on YouTube as well. Awesome, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.